Hey everybody, ronarray here, and since the league moving forward, some particular farms becoming more and more popular because a lot of people currently looking for high tier boss items and more expensive uniques. So in this video I want to showcase how you can utilize that to your advantage and make a lot of currency while farming citadels. I'm going to showcase how you can do it as efficiently as possible and how you can maximize your amount of currency that you're going to receive from your citadels to sell fragments later or farm Arbiter yourself. Let's go! So what is a citadel? Long story short, you probably know that's a special map called Citadel on your atlas. When you will be able to join that map and kill the boss inside, you will receive a special fragment which you can sell later or use 3 fragments to fight the Arbiter. Currently, you will be able to identify citadels on your atlas just by big beam of light. It could be a red light or, for example, here I have like a blue light too. Different types of citadels will have a different lights. Usually, even when it's still in the fog of war, you will be able to see a citadel like that if you're close enough. So most of the time you just need to check your atlas around, and if you have a citadel like that, you need to just go in there, and I have a tower right here close to it. So for example, here I have another, and citadels are appearing pretty often on your map. Pretty important part right here is how to hunt citadels in general. So here is a big trick. Citadels are appearing more often when you're moving away from home. So that's your center, the center of your atlas and your home, and you need to move as far away as possible. So usually people are just going in one particular direction, like for example up or to the left. And you're just moving to the left and to the left and to the left as far as you can get. So for example, here I moved as far as I could, just to the left, while searching for the citadels. If you will just go in one direction without stopping for anything, you can just farm basic, half-empty mobs, go in, kill all the rares, and it will work just perfectly for you. You should find at least one new citadel per hour, and if you will be a little more lucky, I think sometimes I've been finding even 3 citadels per hour. So it should work without a lot of issues. You just need to keep going to one direction as far as you can. And every time when you see some kind of beam of light around, so you can just check everything on your atlas, you should just go in there and claim that citadel. I'm going to explain how exactly you can maximize your citadel using the towers around a little later, but generally to farm it, it's pretty simple. You're just running basic maps, you're not really focusing on anything else, and you're just going in one direction. Make sure that you're not going in circles, and you're always going into one direction that you picked at the start, because that way you will maximize your chances. The further you will be from the start of your atlas, the more chances that you will encounter citadels. A lot of people just going around at the start and they're not really receiving a lot of citadels because of that. But generally fighting those shouldn't be a very big issue. So for example, here I have another citadel. Perfectly, you need at least 2 towers close to citadel to maximize the effect, but even if you have one, you can still profit from it. Talking about the atlas, while you're progressing and just searching for citadels, your atlas is practically playing no role whatsoever, and you can completely ignore it. But when you're going to farm citadels themselves, we need to maximize quantity of waystones. So I'm taking all possible bonuses for quantity of waystones here and here. I'm also trying to maximize increased effect of explicit modifiers on your waystones because you can run just basic quantity that way, which is pretty great. I'm also taking unstable energies, even if the map itself is going to a little harder. I think it's absolutely worth it because that way you can rise your quantity even further. And I'm also taking like waystone quantity right here, and obviously bonuses for tablets, like all tablets effects are absolutely necessary for it, so make sure that you are taking all of those notes. And Remnants of Power is pretty great, especially if it's going to proc, and it could be very useful for citadels farming in general. Another cool thing that you can use in your atlas to maximize your chances to drop something good from it, you can take quantity from Spoils of War because it's considered like a map boss, and after that you can also take like Organized Forces and 4% increased quantity of waystones dropped by map bosses here and here. So taking all of those could be helpful as well. It's about additional 8% of quantity, which is going to maximize your chances to drop additional items to join the Arbiter fight. Now let's talk about the setup that will help you to maximize your profit. So if you have only one tower close to your Citadel, I usually recommend to just go with normal tablets. And for normal tablets, you need to aim for increased quantity of waystones found in your maps together with increased quantity. If you can get higher percent, it doesn't really matter, you can just take like 20% of quantity of waystones and a little quantity of items like 3 or 4%. If you can get higher percentage such as 6% right here, it would work even better. So if you have only one tower like that, I recommend to use only quantity of waystones tablets and nothing else, because it's going to make sure that you will have like chances for additional things and it's probably going to work better for you. But if you have double towers close to your citadels, for example right here I have like an iron citadel and double towers, that way you can risk it and utilize Vision of Paradise. Vision of Paradise will give you completely irradiated maps and rage removes irradiation instead. So that way you will be able to complete your citadel twice. The biggest issue is that Vision of Paradise is pretty expensive right now. So if you will not drop enough fragments or you will be unlucky, you can lose currency on that. However, when you have like double towers, I still recommend to use it, so usually I'm going for something like that myself. And as you can see, I added like a radiation right here, that way our citadel will be farmed like twice. And I'm adding the same tablet that I showcased. Right here is just like quantity of waystones and just quantity in general here as well. That way we will have about 100% increased waystones found in the area, also 10% of quantity, and we will be able to complete the citadel twice. You can decide for yourself if you want to risk it with a unique tablet. If you're not sure, you can pretty much ignore it and just farm Citadel once with as much increased chances to found waystones as you can. Now let's talk about the map. Perfectly, you need a map with at least 100% waystone drop chance. That way you can get a pretty decent chances to get more fragments from bosses. So that way you need as many suffixes as possible, and when suffixes are worth, it's going to provide more waystone drop chance. You can also use Distilled Envy right here, and 3 Envy will give you 90% increased waystones found in area, which is just great. So when you're instilling something like that, you can reach 200% without a lot of issues. Sometimes you can also corrupt map on top of it, and when corrupting, there will be a chance that you will get like additional suffixes and percentages are going to improve. That depends. So for example right here I received 215 waystone drop chance, which is not bad and you can run it just fine. I also recommend to use Envy because Envy right now is very cheap, and that way it will be much more comfortable for you to drop more waystone parts. So another cool trick that you can utilize to move across your atlas faster and find more citadels per hour is pretty much using tablets such as Grand Project Precursor tablet. It gives you all maps in range can be accessed. That way, if you're for example putting it in that tower, you will be able to immediately jump to any map around. It could help you when you want to reach Citadel faster, so for example if I would use one there, I would be able to just immediately jump to the Citadel. Or you can also use it in the basic situation like that, when you just have a tower, and in that case you can just jump as far as the most far corner of the zone of your tower, and that way you could just jump from tower to tower and move to the proper part of the Atlas significantly faster. But there is a big downside. Grand Project right now has a pretty significant cost, so make sure that it's worth it for you. I'm not using Grand Projects right now because I really feel that they're a little too expensive for that strategy to be profitable, and I don't really recommend it. However, if you're really impatient or if you have a lot of those tablets and you want to use them, be my guest and here's an option for you. But please keep in mind the prices. So that's been my guide to farm Citadels. Right now it's a pretty easy way to make significant currency. You should be able to make a pretty nice amount of divines just selling your fragments or farm Arbiter later on. Both options are pretty viable and you should be able to be successful with both of them. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and I hope it will help you out to build your bank. ronarray out.